Yes. Well, I'm waiting for you to say hello, so I know. Say hello, so I know. So I know, say hello, please. Yes. Oh, yes, Jeff Lewis. Hello, Jeff. Nice to see you, sir. So we're reaching Facebook. Can somebody on YouTube? Yes, David Cowan. Thank you very much, sir. Yes. Jeff Lewis, David Cowan, David Mason, Stephanie Robinson. Playing the Gibson. Love the Gibson. I'm not going to name names, but the strings on this guitar cost €1 a pack, and for €1 that's pretty good, but you can tell the difference. Picture alright, sound alright. Eusto, good evening, sir. Danny Edwards, thank you. So, microphone's here, so I've got to kind of see if I turn like that. The reason I put it here is, if I put it there, sometimes it can affect the focus on these cameras, and also if I put it there and I turn around to read your message, you get that sound. Well, you want that sound. Okay, so bear with me. I'll do my best, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome back. Welcome back. I'm very conscious of playing the same numbers over and over again, but people will pay hundreds and hundreds of pounds to see Bruce Springsteen play the same numbers over and over again. So you've got the privilege of hearing the same numbers over and over again for free. Hey. So, okay. So I'm going to play. Get yourself together, yeah, Paul. What Blues Not Blues? It's an old classic from the Light album. That's the cover from the Light album that I ended up not using. I ended up using that cover eventually, because there was a long delay between finishing the album and getting it pressed. And although I don't mind that other cover, that photograph was taken in Poland, the old picture. Greetings from Austria. Good evening, sir. Rock to you, Gilapogo. Nice to see you. Yes, so I'm killing time to get you all in. I want you all to come in, take a seat, get comfortable. So that album cover was taken at a photo studio in Poland, and it was called Chernobyl Studios. But that was a long time ago. and we ended up going with that one, which is taken in a venue in Austria. Mr. Pogo, that picture was taken in Austria. So let's get the sound right for the first song. So let's give it a go. This is Jim Drummond on drums. It's me on bass. I was almost going to say it was Kenny Hutchison on bass, but it isn't. I did the bass on this. La Pet de Seb, Mr. Paul, good evening. Away we go. Something like that. Something like that. Oh, you're permanently housebound, Dave Mason. Well, I'll give you the best music I can this evening. I've got a couple of new ones tonight for the live stream. Yeah, I've got a couple of new ones. And I've got a couple of new ones from YouTube. Thank you, Marco. Much appreciated. Rennie, hello in Copenhagen. Thank you very much. Dale Boyd, down there in the city of London-ish. Good. Right, we've made a good start, I think. This next one is from an album called Promises. That's Southend Pier. I took that photograph on a Sunday morning during a little run of gigs down there, and it ended up being an album cover. It's the one that's on the series of Minder when Dennis Waterman left. It was never so good without Dennis Waterman. Do I take requests? Depends what the money's like. Tederica. If the money's good, I'll do it. But you got to understand that I have a set playlist in the audio computer here. And it doesn't mean that I can't just pull out. You may ask for a song and I don't have it here. But you're on Twitch. And I'm glad to see that you're on Twitch, because I don't have any traction on Twitch at all. I don't have much traction anywhere. Good evening, Martin R. Nice to see you. So this next song is called Single Coil. And I will be using humbuckers because I don't want to change guitar just yet. So let's see what happens. yeah, pretty humbuckery for a single coil. So, yes, I keep my glasses on so I can see what's going on. These are my reading glasses, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm an old man now. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting old. Thank you very much, Ted Erica. Excuse me, I get names. Colin Sim. Thank you, Colin. I get names that I don't know how to pronounce because I've never read them before. So please apologise if I pronounce names or shortcuts or nicknames the wrong way around. Right, what's number 3, ladies and gentlemen? Number 3 is the Lonely Tango. Right, what's the Lonely Tango? I'll tell you what the Lonely Tango is all about, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you don't take this. Is the volume okay? Is the volume okay? Is the overall volume and sound okay? Tell me if it's missing anything and I'll correct it the best that I can. The Lonely Tango, folks, is for the internet celebrity who sits by himself in his home and talks to the world. It's a lonely tango, and I thought you'd kind of include myself in that. But I've done a lot of research. You see, all of this stuff that I'm doing here, I learned through lockdown because I had nothing else to do. We had nothing else to do, and so I started the stream, and I kind of was going on these YouTube channels, and people were appearing in that, and I learned everything about how to operate the software. And I mean, I already knew how to operate the music software, but the visuals, the that's a nice Gibson guitar, that, isn't it? Yeah, when I got this guitar, I can't remember how long ago I got this guitar. I bought this guitar without plugging it in. I just played it in the shop, and it felt right, and it sounded all right. So I knew that was going to be okay. So put it on a credit card like a naughty boy should, and then put Lollar pickups in it. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Okay, so the Lonely Tango. Yeah, so I'm using these budget strings that were given to me. And they cost €1 from a certain German music store. I'm not going to tell you the name, but it's big. And they're €1 each. And they're okay, but they don't last very long, and I need to restring this guitar before we go out with the guitar heads soon. So this is called the Lonely Tango, and it's dedicated to all of the internet celebrities. the original guitar that I didn't mute there. Did you hear the string slip there? And there was also a bit where I hit a wrong note as well, but fortunately enough you don't get charged for that. You aren't actually getting charged for any of it, so shut up. Dave Mason, you're lucky enough to have listened to the majority of Paul's live streams over the past few years. Well, that's great. Thank you very much. That's a lot of hours. This is the 300th show, don't you know? If I press that number 3, will it say 300? Will it? No, of course it won't. Bloody thing. I hope you're all enjoying the music. I hope you're all enjoying the music, ladies and gentlemen. Next track was a number 4. Number 4. Just before we go on to number 4, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna unplug the Les Paul. Would you like to have a video of Saint-Tropez? I'm just going to change guitars, and you can look at Saint-Tropez from my holiday in Saint-Tropez many years ago, where I changed guitars. There. What do you think of that? Okay, Telecaster. There you go, a little bit of slide, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of slide on the Fender Telecaster. Seymour Duncan's pickups. Alright, Richard, how you doing here, mate? You alright? Enjoying my visit to Tone Heaven. Thanks for bringing the bank holiday. Thank you very much, Richard. So this guitar is a Fender of old, and it has Seymour Duncan's in it. And you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong. Uncle Seymour put those pickups in himself. Yes, he did. Okay, back to the guitar. Now, you've been to Saint-Tropez. Shall we go to London? Let's go to London. But that was actually Switzerland. Starts in London. Dale Boyd, hello there. Thank you very much, Dave Mason. Okay. Okay. LSL Strat, Lollar pickups. Needs a tune. Bit of advice: when you're tuning with a tuner, put your pickup on the neck. Gives it a fatter sound, and the tuner can hear the note better. The guitar tech at Guitar in Newcastle told me that years ago, and I've always done it since. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now, what's number 4? Little Billy Bumpkin. Little Billy Bumpkin. It's kind of a little country bumpkin number. Ah, solo distortion. It's me. Yes, I'm back. My goodness gracious, Lance Lerman can build a guitar. Little Billy Bumpkin. This is one I wrote. It's a country bumpkin. Yes, that's my brother playing drums, David Cowan playing piano, and I believe it's myself playing the bass. The Loudon's great, Dale. The Loudon's great, and both of I've got two Loudons here. I was gonna do a little acoustic session tonight, but let's not bite off more than we can chew, because you know I've got to be. I can't overwhelm myself with too much technology. When I was doing the lock-in lock-in, that was when I was drinking, having a lock-in. Lost his train of thread. He's an old man now. He can't remember what he's bloody talking about. He's talking about one minute he's talking about lockdowns. I was streaming at least once a week with the lockdowns, and and so the system was kind of set up and running. But as some of you regulars will have noticed, I'm not streaming anywhere near as much, or hardly streaming any time at all. So I'll just, you know, bring in the acoustic in and all of that. Yeah. Derby next season. Yeah. Newcastle in the Champions League. What's number 4? Bumpkin. Goodbye, Pork Pie Heart. Fabioski, you've asked a very important question. I tuned to 432. I try to, and I'm gonna give you a. None of these guitars have been restrung in months, because in all honesty, I haven't really played for a couple of months. I've done very little. I've been having quite a break from playing the guitar. Fabioski, this is a glass of water standing on top of a speaker with the note of A. That's A for Apple. Going through the speaker, and the A is tuned to 440. Okay, now this is the same glass of water with A going through it, tuned to 432. I rest my case. I rest my case. I do not need to defend that. My choice to tune to 432 when in this room. I believe that that is not beautiful in comparison to that. It's a third of a semitone flat. It's a third of a semitone down. Press that button there. It's a third of a semitone down. That's 440. And that's 432. Okay? Yeah, baby. It's the way God intended it to be. Yeah, baby. Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. Charlie Mingus, made famous in the guitar world by somebody going by the name of Jeff Beck from down south somewhere. I'm coming to you live, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live, ladies and gentlemen, from Newcastle upon Tyne, and we've been out in the sun all day, and I'm feeling a little bit woozy. And a good game of football yesterday. It was a shite game of football, but we did qualify for the Champions League, ladies and gentlemen. But it took all season to do it. Now then, yeah, baby, Epsom. So yes, Jeffrey Beckery. And I'm coming to you live from Newcastle upon Tyne, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not confuse that with Newcastle under Lyme. This is a totally different place. If you want to email me, if you've got any questions, if you want lessons, if you want online lessons, or if you've got any questions about music, let's keep politics out of it. This is all about music and good vibrations. That's an LSL Stratocaster. Yes, it is indeed, ladies and gentlemen. The camera's set on a 10-second timer, and it will go back to another version of me, or maybe that's a 20-second timer. There, it's taking its bloody time. There you go. Yeah, Newcastle upon Tyne, ladies and gentlemen. So, I have got. They are all of my albums. Except for three. There's 3 albums missing. Let's go back to that. They are all of my solo albums, ladies and gentlemen. Homework, Best Of, Late Show, Double Life, 10, White Mountain Road, Half Alive, Magic City, Promises, Slide Away, Note to Self, Live at the Broken Doll, Covers Night, Learning Curve, All Clear, Housebound, not Housebound, what's that one called? Domesticated, it's the house band, Light, and Beatnik. And I also have an album called, whence that goes back, got an album there called Blues Volume 1. That's this studio, you see. That's that guitar that I was just playing before. Some of you have bought, yes, Dave Mason says he's got a few of them. Dale Boyd's got a few of them. Jen Hughes has got a few of them. Eusto Leon Galan has got a few of them. Stuart Cochran. Anyone else have a guitar out and play along with Paul live? I hope you're tuned to 432, Stuart. It's a subtle difference, but but anyway, so there's Blues, okay, which is available on CD and MP3, and this goes for all of them, okay, that are still in press. Good lad. These are the ones that are still on CD. You buy a CD, I ship it to you, and you get a free MP3 version, which has all of the metadata and the album covers embedded properly, mastered by Jim Griffiths at Principal Audio. Have you subscribed, ladies and gentlemen? Have you subscribed? I've also got an acoustic album out, which many of you have already bought, and it's called Heaton, which is where I grew up, just up the road. That's Newcastle. I don't know if you do, Anita, but you soon will. You soon will. So that's Heaton. That is an entirely 100% acoustic album, except for one electric guitar track. One electric guitar track. The rest is all Loudon acoustic, F25C. Goodness gracious me, what an album! What an album! What a pompous get! What a guitar! And soon to be released later in the year, a brand new CD, ladies and gentlemen, called Holiday of a Lifetime. And that's me in Newcastle upon Tyne in 1972. Let's have a look at that again. It's mad, that, isn't it? It's Newcastle upon Tyne, and that's me as a little band standing on top of the coal bunker playing out an imaginary guitar. Yeah, baby. So, anyway, it's number 6. Ghosts That Follow Me. This is a new one, brand new one. There's only one person heard this. There's only one person heard this. Out there in Cyberland. And the version that they heard wasn't finished. It's all in the timber. Okay, Ghosts That Follow Me. It's about mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. It's about mistakes in life. And maybe supernatural as well, a bit of supernatural in there. I've never played this one before live. I've never really, I ran through it once this afternoon or twice this afternoon. Andy Hall, get our bonny lad. Gold Top Rob. Hello, Gold Top Rob. Good name, lad. That's a good name, Gold Top Rob. Different tap ear breaks, Andy. So, let's have a go at this. I'm not quite sure. I'm just going to have a go at this. I'm not quite sure how I want this. I've got like an idea in my head for it that hasn't quite fully fermented yet. So I'm going to just play it. Mark Wendell, hello there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so that was called The Ghosts That Follow Me. Yes. The mistakes that you've made that stick in your mind, the things you said, you know, and the supernatural that follow me. And number 7, Look Up. Also, brand new for you tonight. Brand new. There should be a way to get full screen to work. Al, there should be. And that is from, oh no, that's the different one. That's Heaton. Been there, Paul. You're getting it wrong. 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 That's what the teachers used to say. Wrong. You're going nowhere with that attitude, son. Heaton School. Okay. Holiday of a Lifetime. Holiday of a Lifetime. The soon-to-be released album. I've released 2 this year already, and I've got a 3rd one there. It's ready to go. And Red Brick Walls, Newcastle upon Tyne. Cool. Yes. Cool bunker. I didn't have a guitar. I've got a guitar now. Yes. What was it called? Look Up. Number 7. This is another brand new one that I've never played. Are you all enjoying yourselves, ladies and gentlemen? Kim Tube. Kim Tube. That's a new one. Does the guitar sound good acoustically? Lance Lerman, LSL Instruments. Number 7. Here we go. Look up, ladies and gentlemen. Look up. Away from the television. Away from the telephone. Not away from the live stream though. Put the screen on your ceiling. Put the screen on the ceiling and look up and watch the live stream. Yeah, baby. And that's from an album called Holiday of a Lifetime. Now, let me tell you about Holiday of a Lifetime. Should I tell you about Holiday of a Lifetime? It's recorded, it's mixed, it's mastered, and the graphics are ready. All it needs to do is go to press. Well, ladies and gentlemen, why don't you pre-order? Why don't you pre-order? And then I can press it. I only need 7 pre-orders, 10 pre-orders, 10 pre-orders. And then I can press that album and it'll be here in a week and a half, 2 weeks. Imagine. Imagine if you pre-ordered it tonight. I could press that album next week and it would be here a week after that, and you would have it in 2 weeks. Paul at paulrose.co.uk. I'll send you the PayPal link. I've done it successfully. I've done that successfully with the Blues album. You pre-ordered it. I pressed it. I did it successfully with the Heat and Solo acoustic album. You pre-ordered it. I pressed it. You all got your copies and you all told me you were very happy with them. Now come on, ladies and gentlemen, can we do it a third time? Holiday of a Lifetime. Playing music. That's the holiday of a lifetime, ladies and gentlemen. Send me an email. I'll send you the PayPal link. I need to sell between 7 and 10 copies at £10 a pop. And it'll go to press next week. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Dave Mason. Thank you, Eusto. Thank you, Mark Wendell. Thank you, Brita. Stuck in my recliner chair all day over the past 2 months. I have been. Yeah. Well done, Dave. Sorry, Stuart Cochran. 432 recent, or have you always played? I've been playing in 432. I started to play in 432 about 10 years ago, I think. No, maybe, yeah, about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that. Heaton was brilliant. Well said, Jen, it was, wasn't it? Oh, I am only having a laugh, man. Come on. Come on. I'm in good spirits having a laugh. We're dead. We're all going to be dead and gone one day. This house that I'm sitting in here is from 1865. Do you know how many people have lived and died in this room? This room. Around about this time, ladies and gentlemen, I like to have a sparkling water from Lidl. My sparkling water comes from Lidl. I don't drink anything but Lidl sparkling water, ladies and gentlemen. Should I tell you a joke? Well, I just take a drink of water. Do you want to hear a joke? A woman contacted a radio station and she says, I'm having terrible trouble with a noisy neighbour. I've got terrible, problematic neighbours. He doesn't listen. Noise all the time. We've called the police. They don't do anything. He lies to her constantly. And we're at the end of our tether. We don't know what to do. The guy on the radio station says, do you know who they are? They said, he lives at 10 Downing Street. Delete that, should we delete that? Okay, 7, 8, Gun Hill Blues. Here we go. Bit of blues for you. What's number 9? Get Carter. Should we do Get Carter and then call it a day? That's an hour and 25 minutes. That's more than I was intending to do, ladies and gentlemen. It's kind of more than one of us I do. We're going to get the meat raffle on, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll call it a night, and then away you go. See your way home now. Get yourselves away home. Okay.
Now, Take me back to London. Take me back to London.
I want you to drink all of that. You understand? Just like it was with my brother Frank. Watch it. Drink up. Drink it! You ever go to the house when he was spewing it out? You can pass the bottle around when the car went over the top. Hey! Good
There you go. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much, Mike Brady. You need to stock up on Mike Brady. Correct. You are correct. You need to stock up on my back catalogue. There it is. Part of it anyway. There's a couple missing off there. I'm joking. I'm not trying to force you into buying things that you don't want. But there's an album there called Holiday of a Lifetime, and and then there's another album there called Heaton. Jen Hughes has already sworn how good that album is. She's very wise. She's got great taste in music, fantastic taste in music. And of course, we've got the blues album. Yeah, we've got it all, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Rose Distortion, Paul Rose Distortion, Paul Solo Blues, Andy Williamson. Thank you very much, everybody. Aye. So basically, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Hang on, just give us a second. Because I'm not going to play any more guitar tonight, I'll stop the cameras from changing. So we're locked in. So, yes. Through the lockdown, I did a stream every week, and more. The guitar's a bit. And you know, I was conscious that I was getting a bit playing the same numbers over. I mean, there's no that I wouldn't play these numbers if I didn't like them, or if I didn't think that they had something to offer. But you know, you can overdo things, and I was kind of conscious of the fact that I'd been doing these songs through lockdown, and the amount of time it took me to learn how to do all of this stuff, this kind of thing, you know. And to create new songs as well. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not a Superman. I'm not, you know, I can't afford to pay myself, let alone pay anybody else. I wish I could. But you know, all of these graphics and that, you know, I had to learn how to do them. Have you subscribed, ladies and gentlemen? See, there's a nice graphic, similar colour to the guitar. That graphic, isn't it? Isn't it clever? Or subscribe to YouTube, like on Facebook, support through PayPal. If you want to pre-order the CD, help me get the album to the printers. There is also a Patreon, paulrose.com/paulrosemusic. It all helps. Little trickles come. You see, I need to buy new strings for all these guitars for the Guitar Heads tour coming up. Guitar Heads. It's going to be wild. No gigs in lockdown other than online. Guitar Heads tour is going to be wild. And I need to restring all of these guitars. I mean, it's £6 a set of strings now, ladies and gentlemen. £6 for a set of strings. I'm not a beggar. I'm just saying. Right, okay. Yes, absolutely. Yes, okay. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Done a lot of yes, okay. Been thinking a lot about you see, I got 30 years continuous alcoholic sobriety a few weeks ago, and I'm 60 years old next year. I'll be 60-year-old next year, and I'm now 30 years sober of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I've been reflecting on life and contemplating my mistakes and missteps and misfortunes and naive, fearful decisions that I've made throughout my life. I've got no regrets, not really got no regrets, don't regret any of it. But I heard somebody say that, you know, we are living the lives that 20-year-old alcoholics set up for us. I was a 20-year-old alcoholic setting up a life for a 60-year-old man. Do you follow? I am the end result. I ain't got no regrets, baby. But time doesn't stop. Time never stops. Doesn't even exist in some people's opinions. I've got me thoughts about that. But anyway, send me a postcard. Drop me a line stating point of view. paul@paulrose.co.uk. paul@paulrose.co.uk. There's a book that, well, do you know, Jeff, the title holiday of a lifetime was actually going to be the title of a book, and I was going to tell you my life story and you know, I'm very conscious of the world that we live in, and these idiots, you know, who think. I don't want to think myself having anything special, but I've had some experiences. I've done some pretty mental things. I've done things that I wouldn't put in books. Let's put it that way. I've been involved with things in London that wouldn't go in books, ladies and gentlemen. At least not yet. Maybe another 30 years' time. That's, yeah, John Macbeth, that's right. There's a lot of experience, shall we say. So, you know, I thought about making a talking book, you know, just like speaking into a recorder and just reciting stories and telling you about some of the stuff that I did, and managers and record companies and recording studios, and tearing around Germany in a car drunk out of my head, you know, crashed into went off the road and down the side, and a farmer pulled us out. Then we got back in the car and drove back into town and had more to drink. Yeah, baby. Okay, thanks everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to say nighty-nighty, and thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks very much for keep coming back. You're in the right place. And if you want to help keep the show on the road, paul@paulrose.co.uk, you know where I am, or you can message me through Facebook. Thank you very much. La Pat de Seb. Pardon me, I don't know how to pronounce your name properly. Goodbye.